Educator and an administrator. Let's all give it up for Mark Legvold, everybody. All right.
Wow, what a crowd. Yeah, thanks. My name's Mark Legvold. I'm a son of this town. Like they said, I'm a fellow American, just like all of us, a passionate American. I'm a farmer. Locally, corn and soybeans, and boy, was this year's price depressing because of what we've been encountering in our tariffs. I'm a former educator and especially a veteran of 33 years in the United States military. You just hit me in the face. It's okay. Now I'm wounded. We're okay. Not today. Like every single veteran, I have a same story. We all showed up to basic training and we were yelled at and told to stood in a certain spot on footsteps, and they were either painted yellow or white, and they were evenly spaced. Footsteps at a 45-degree angle. And then they'd come around and they'd yell at us and they'd tell us to put our chest up, lift up our head, put our hand in a fist, and put it down at our sides. And that was the position that we were told to stand at, especially if we were in trouble. But that was the position that we were told to stand at. That was the first step at teaching us how to serve something a whole lot bigger than ourselves, that first step. See, we were told how to stand as that first step, but then the next steps in our training, they taught us what we were standing for, the oath that we took to our Constitution to protect and defend the Constitution. We were told how to stand, how to protect the Constitution against enemies, foreign and domestic. We were given things like core values, things like integrity, service, excellence, fidelity, loyalty, patriotism, things that we could stand on in order to protect and defend the Constitution, things that we could stand on and hold into our hearts so that we knew how to take the right steps in the right direction when we needed to make hard decisions, decisions that put us in sometimes violent and difficult decisions and violent and difficult situations. Well, I know where I'm standing today as a veteran. See, today we're witnessing the erosion of what I was taught to stand on and stand for and stand up to. I'm seeing the behaviors of one person in our government's head ripping our country and our communities and our families apart. He's justifying his destructive, dangerous decisions on a violent ambivalence toward its own citizens, toward all of us, a violent ambivalence. He does this as a way of disregarding people that he considers outsiders or others or less thans. People that I stood on those yellow footsteps to protect and defend, he is calling outsiders and others so that he can maintain his power. When General Milley, who left that administration on his own better judgment, in his address that we now carry today as a cry for change, he spoke about the idea of America, the idea that many, just like myself, who took an oath to protect and defend and even die for. He spoke of the Constitution as our moral North Star, and that wannabe dictators cannot, should not, and will not become a replacement. Now, can you imagine, after General Milley called our Constitution the moral North Star, one guy in the White House wanting to become the new moral North Star of our country? And what I really truly believe that we are all here for, what we've heard already today, is that we're here for this sense of community because we all believe in what we're doing. We all love this country. We have a sense of purpose and a promise that this nation that some of us deployed for, that we fought for, some of our brothers and sisters even died for, that we all strive for, this idea of America. We continue to hope in the promise of this nation that we all work together to make more perfect every single day. This idea, defined by liberty and justice and self-governance and the rule of law, has not and will not become a monarchy defined by one man. This one man who pours his lukewarm poison of indifference toward our citizens and toward others, this apathy of anguish of our fellow Americans and all of those who just revel in the suffering of others. We deserve better today. We will not, we're all standing here today to say we will not become a nation defined by one man, so erratic and consumed by greed and so insecure of himself that the only way that he can maintain power is to develop some sort of special force within his own country to control others and illegally deploy the National Guard into our own city streets. This same guy, this same coward that is so consumed by greed and self-aggrandizement that he destroys gardens and places of peace so that he can construct a ballroom so that he feels better about his own insecure self. We all deserve better than that. A man, a small man, who is so arrogant and so childish in his approach to others that he isolates our entire country from the free world economically, militarily, and diplomatically. And our state workers can't work to build good relationships because of this small, childish man that we have in the White House. These dysfunctional and dangerous behaviors of this wannabe dictator king are why we're all here, but we're also here because we still believe in this great idea defined by justice and liberty and self-governance, things that I worked for to defend for 33 years of my life. Thank you for burning soy diesel. We appreciate you. It's great to see that we're all here guided by this eternal sense of hope and optimism in our country. This possibility that we all come together to demand something better. This united stand that we have, not only against the behaviors that have defined tyrannical kings throughout history, but united because together we can once again achieve the great promise of this country and continue to be that nation that others look to for that promise. A nation that sees United States and believes that there is hope, there is goodness, there is decency, there is kindness, and there is compassionate just in that name of our great country. Nothing gave me a better sense of that when I was deployed to Kuwait and I was invited to share a cup of tea with a Kuwaiti firefighter. We did not speak the same language. I can still taste the strongest taste of licorice in that tea as we sat down brother to brother, not really communicating much with one another, but smiles and goodness and decency. And every so often he'd look down at my chest and he'd see that U.S. Air Force name tape. And I knew I wasn't there just to be a sergeant in the Air Force. I was there representing the greatness of this country, the greatness that comes from the relationships that we have with one another, the greatness that comes from the community that we have with one another. That's how we build relationships. That's what makes this country strong. It's where our differences don't define us. It's where our core values define us. Where a country where the wealthy and the powerful are granted that wealth and given that power based on the labors of the many and the permission of all of us in our votes. We have a responsibility that we pass on to them, that responsibility to represent us well and act with the core values that we stand for. We are not getting that today. A country where the richness of this world's huddled masses yearning for freedom are welcomed, not just as immigrants, but as participants and contributors to our great community. A country where we all work together to lift up our neighbors, to bring everyone along, and continue to strive for a more perfect union within our families, within our communities, within our state, within our nation, within all of us. And that's the more perfect union that's found enduring and enriching in the place where we live and where we are today. We all have a place. Just like those footsteps on the concrete when I showed up to basic training, everybody was welcomed from every walk of life because we were there for something bigger than ourselves. I believe that we are better than what we're seeing in America today, that this entire nation is destined to become a better place because of the actions of all of us, not because of the vanity of the president and the weakness of his enablers. It's the decency of all of us and the ideals that we stand for. I believe that in this community and in this nation, we cannot be moved forward by people that believe that the present is already dying and our best days are behind us. Our best days are truly ahead of us. We are going to need to work to face that difficulty and the uncertainty of the future and do the hard work that is necessary to move everybody ahead. We've got to commit ourselves to do what we can, where we can, and how we can. What does this look like? Well, I tell you what, if you can run for office, then do so and make a difference in your community. If you can demonstrate publicly, then do so and make a difference in your community. If you can protect our immigrant community, then do so and make a difference. If you can protect our marginalized communities, then do so and make a difference every day. If you can write, if you can speak, if you can organize, if you can sing, if you can bring people together, then do so and make a difference in our community. And if you can be that one small, still voice speaking up against the dangerous and destructive tyrant's ideology of America, an America that is non-American, then do so. Tell them that America is kind. Tell them that America is decent, and use that small, still voice that you all carry. Do so and make a difference in your community. We have to be indivisible, and we all have to unite in that purpose. Most importantly, at this time, we all need to summon our courage, gather our resolve and our resources, and push forward for the true promise of what this country is, where we live in communities that not only allow for firmness and resolve, but kindness and grace. Not one that's self-absorbed by power-hungry, law-dodging, authoritarian, wannabe kings, but one that's led by honest and decent, hardworking people from all walks of life, from all areas of our world, and representatives who work to understand their interest. We need to learn how to stand together, even if they didn't vote for the same person we did. We have to come together as a country. Look, at basic training, I learned how to stand. I learned what we stood for, and I learned how to work hard and defend this country. Now's not the time for any of us to sit by and troll on the internet. Now's the time to continually act in a way that shows that this is a country defined by a destiny of freedom and justice and liberty and law. And this hiccup that we're having right now is going to subside with our work. It's our country, and the last thing that we're going to do is let him or his enablers come and take it. Thanks, everybody. Keep showing up.